Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Modern. Yeah. Battle Spot. New video. Let's go! Still using the same team. Just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, this weekend I'm going to be having a mid-season showdown in Arizona. So, may or may not end up on stream for that. I don't know if I'm going to end up playing on it at all, or if I'm going to commentate or not with my buddy Jason Krell. But yeah, that's coming up, so at the very least, like, even though I won't be able to get videos for the weekend, more likely than not, the stream will be up, so I can just go and share that to you guys, and you guys can go and watch that. And then, if there's any interesting battles that I have there, or if, depending on, like, if they do tethered boxes or not, where we need to save our boxes, which means we can't save our battle videos, then at the very least, if I get on stream, I can go and commentate over those or something. But in general, like, should be a very smooth week, hopefully, with videos. And obviously, like I said, this weekend I won't be able to get anything out because of the mid-season. First opponent's going to be DIF. I don't know, DIF? They're going to be using the AFK core, the Arcanine, Kartana, Feeny core with Xurkitree, Garchomp, and Porygon. Really not too sure why they have the Porygon, because their team doesn't really, like, it's not a very slow team at all. They're pretty... I was going to say they're pretty weak to my Garchomp, but now that I look at it, like, it's actually not as bad as I thought. I think I can just lead off with Arcanine and Garchomp, like... Being able to Snarl straight off the bat turn 1, and just being able to threaten them with Chomp straight off the bat is pretty good. In the back, I'm going to bring Tapu Koko because it's good against pretty much everything on his team. And I'm not sure if I want to go Celesteela in the back or not. I'm probably going to go Lapras just because, worst case scenario, Lapras can, like, Ice Shard Kartana if it's Sash or something, and then it can pretty much chunk everything else on the team pretty well with Freeze Dry. It's also worth mentioning that against Porygon I can go for Sheer Colds, so maybe we'll get a chance for that. That could be pretty cool, but yeah, let's see how the battle goes. Alrighty, let's see what he leads. Tapu Fini Garchomp. Pretty solid lead by my opponent. No Intimidate, which is interesting. I'm actually a little bit surprised they didn't lead off with their own Arcanine. Maybe they didn't want their Arcanine to get intimidated or something. I don't really know, but leading off with my own Arcanine is pretty good because it intimidates whatever he leads off. Specifically, like, the biggest thing I wanted to intimidate is his Garchomp. Let's see, in the back I've got my Koko and Lapras, so I actually think this first turn I can just go for a Protect and an Earthquake. Like, as much as I would like to go and play around something like Specs Tapu Fini, I wanted to waste my opponent's turn right here just in case if they were going for a Z move, and obviously they went for the Protect. So I guess that was their safest play anyways. I really had no reason to risk him going for the Z move. So if anything, this next turn is going to be a little bit interesting. And Tapu Fini goes for Moonblast. I really hope that he's not Specs. And it looks like he's Specs. Okay, so let's think about the positives here, at least. Now, at the very least, my Tapu Koko, I believe, is sashed. May be wrong. Am I sashed? No, I'm Fairy Z. Oh my god, I'm so smart. Fairy Z move on this. Okay, so that's actually pretty good for me. I completely forgot about that I'm Fairy Z move. Okay, this went way better than I thought it would. So, yeah, Tapu Koko has Fairy Z move, and that one-shots Garchomp, unless they're, like, super, super bulky. Now, in the back, he has Xurkitree, Arcanine, Kartana, and Porygon. So, if I go for, like, a Will-O-Wisp... Well, actually, no. I should probably go for a Snarl, because I was thinking if I go for a Will-O-Wisp here, just in case if he switches, that could be good. But he might keep his Tapu Fini in here. And yeah, I can just Twinkle Tackle into Chomp. That should pick up the one-hit knockout unless he's a Assault Vest, which we know he can't because he went for the Protect. So yeah, I believe this should KO as long as he's not like really, really stupidly bulky. Because even though this Tapu Koko isn't super offensive, it has a little bit of investment, and that's usually enough to guarantee it on like even fairly bulky chomps. I believe the only chomps that survive this are Assault Vest anyways. Okay, and yeah, he goes to the stars, he gets KO'd, and Snarl's going to be it's going to be single target here. Not really going to do much damage anyways, though. Oh, and I got a critical hit, too. So yeah, that did absolutely nothing, but at the very least, we know that they're locked into choice specs and that I can just keep knocking their special attack down every turn. And the bulk on Tapu Koko's coming in very well as well. Eee. And he has Xurkitree, so this is still pretty scary. Depending on if he's, like, Scarfed, at least. I mean, yeah, because I give him the Electric Terrain, which is, like, really scary. Now, I think in this position, I'm free to just go for a Thunderbolt and a Snarl. Like, I have no reason to attack the Xurkitree outside of Snarl. Barring unless, like, if it's Scarf with, like, Energy Ball or something, I don't know. Like, he could probably KO my Tapu Koko. Or maybe, like, if he's Electric Z-move, he might be able to KO my Tapu Koko. But, looks like no Scarf. This should KO the Feeny, and I'm going to drop his Xurkitree's special attack by one stage. So, I believe I just win the game from this position, unless he has Z-move, and he, I don't know, crits my Arcanine or something. And he just goes for Dazzling Gleam, so, yeah, that does absolutely nothing. And yeah, even if he has a Kartana in the back or something, or... Sorry, his own Arcanine in the back. We can still just win because we have Lapras in the back. Now, these next few turns are going to be interesting because I believe it comes down to what his set on Arcanine is. I mean, I'm inclined to just go for Snarl and a T-Bolt into his own Arcanine. Just because I don't really lose anything by doing that. Like, true, I could miss a Snarl or something, but, okay, yeah. But, like, I don't really care about getting any super hard knockouts right now. I just want to set up so Lapras is safe in the back. And his Arcanine's actually the Z-move holder, so... Okay, and that's the Fire Z-move, so... That's what I was a little bit scared of. I was thinking about potentially switching Lapras in, but switching into either a Z-move or an Electric-type attack would be really bad. Also worth mentioning that if this was like a special attack, then I could drop it with Snarl. Okay, so that's probably, like, I'm pretty sure that would KO if it was a special one, even after a Snarl, but... yeah, that's completely fine. And he's really not doing any damage with Thunderbolt right now, so I believe I just straight up win the game. Lapras is Assault Vest. His Arcanine and his Arcanine's -1 special attack. Xurkitree's -2. Yeah, I mean, I have no reason not to just go for a Snarl and like, could I just... I might be able to just attack into Arcanine, but I'll just Hydro Pump. Do I even need to Hydro Pump? I can probably just go for Freeze Dry into Xurkitree. Like, like I said, unless he critical hits me with something weird, then I'm pretty sure I just win anyways. And even if he gets a critical hit onto Lapras or something, I'm Assault Vested, so I probably survive anyways. He's actually physical, though. So he's going to KO himself here, which is fine. I mean, I guess I still win here because of Flare Blitz. This was not how I expected this to go. And he gets the paralysis too. That's so bad. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting him to have Wild Charge there, to be completely honest. Oh my god. I need to be outside of range of Thunderbolt now. Or I need Electric Terrain to end. Wow. Okay, so that's not how I expected that turn to go. Because my opponent doesn't really have any modes to take advantage of Discharge besides being next to Chomp. Okay, so how many turns are Electric Terrain up for now? 1. I mean, Yeah, my best play is to protect here, because if I get paralyzed, it doesn't matter what I choose. And protect just means if I get rid of the electric terrain, then I win. Hopefully. If I can survive, I'm pretty sure I win. I also need to hit through this. Yeah, no, I lose in this position still, I think. Yeah, I think I have to go for a Snarl and then a Flare Blitz. Because I believe he was -3. Yeah, okay. Okay. This should do a decent chunk. Because my Arcanine is -1 right now. So that's what I'm, like, really concerned about. So yeah, Arcanine should be -1 attack. So a Flare Blitz shouldn't be able to KO him. Wow, if I would have went for Ice Shard into Xurkitree, I would have had a chance to win. I don't think I can win now. Because I think I have to go for a Snarl and then a Flare Blitz to maximize my chances, but if he either gets a critical hit or if he gets, like, yeah, a critical hit, a good damage rolls, or a paralysis, then I lose. And the chances of him getting those are extremely high at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I can survive now. Yeah, I mean, we have to hope that Flare Blitz KOs. And I'm pretty sure I just go down to a T-Bolt here anyways, so yeah. Okay, that game sucked. That was so dumb in the end. I really, like, that really wasn't a setup that I expected my opponent to have, because Xurkitrees typically don't carry Wild Charge. They're not like Tapu Koko where you can just abuse it with, let's say, Garchomp or something, because Xurkitree is way too slow compared to the rest of the meta. You can't really pair it with Garchomp, because there's a lot of Pokemon that either outspeed Garchomp in the first place, or like things that just generally deal with Chomp that Tapu Koko helps you deal with. And Xurkitree doesn't help you deal with those things. But yeah, in the end game right there, I really wasn't expecting my opponent to have Wild Charge plus Discharge in the end. I was like entirely expecting him to have the I don't know, like normally they carry Thunderbolt, Energy Ball, and Hidden Power Ice, just because Energy Ball can hit the Gastrodon, which his team only had Kartana to deal with. And then Hidden Power Ice to hit Garchomp. So yeah, I mean, the paralysis is really, it was really the difference maker in that position. Just because if I was faster, I probably could have snarled him to the same point that I did, but I would have taken less damage overall because I would have been faster and I would have snarled him first. So yeah, that paralysis sucked. And the fact that he had Discharge was also sucky, because not only did he get damage on Arcanine, but he had a really high chance to paralyze me too. But I mean, it's like in that was a best of one situation. Like Wild Charge made a lot more sense than the Discharge. If anything, I was expecting him to double into Lapras, because if he had the Wild Charge, then he would need to double into it to get the KO. But Discharge I wasn't expecting. That's what ended up making the difference. And this is also a whole other monster of its own right here. My opponent has the mode to set up with his Porygon Z, which is always very scary. He has a Fake Outer. He has a Pokemon that could potentially have Encore. So this is automatically not a very fun matchup to deal with. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to play this a little bit more offensively this game. Arcanine is definitely the best lead because it can intimidate Hariyama and Gigalith. It can Snarl. I'm also going to lead Koko, and I'll probably bring Chomp and Lapras again. So just the same exact setup. Now, the big thing with this match is his Porygon is probably going to try to set up with its Z move, which is very, very scary to deal with. Getting it to +1 and making it a adaptability electric type with Thunderbolt is very hard to deal with for some teams, depending on how you're positioned. Hopefully, Arcanine Koko gives me a decent chance. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't lead Gengar, it was because of this lead right here. I really don't care about going for Taunt onto Smeargle, because really, Smeargle isn't the threat here. It's Porygon Z. And with Tapu Koko out, he can't go for a Spore or anything anyways. So unless he's carrying Wide Guard or something weird, then I can just go straight for a Snarl, which would reduce his special attack. And then, I guess in this position, no, I think, yeah, I should just go for Snarl Dazzle. If he has Wide Guard, I don't think I'm able to cover for that effectively. Okay, and he goes for Follow Me anyways, so hopefully we hit the Snarl. I think that's going to be the difference maker in this match. Just because reducing his special attack is going to set me up, just so all of my Pokemon aren't getting like one shot by Adaptability Thunderbolts, especially since I set up the electric terrain for him. But it's like I said, okay, that's not what I expected, but whatever you feel like, dude. I mean, I don't know. I guess he wanted to set up for Gigalith. I'm really not sure why he would want to here. I mean, he can't put me to sleep, so I'm really not too sure why he would go for this type of mode. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll switch in Garchomp for Arcanine here, I think. Because if he's going to go for an attack with Porygon, it's probably a Thunderbolt. And if he switches into Gigalith, I also cover that by going for that. And then I guess I can just go for a Thunderbolt into Porygon as well. I don't want to go and waste the Z move, because if he either switches out into Gigalith and it's like Assault Vest, or if maybe I can position myself to go for a Z move with Chomp, I really don't want to deal with that. And he actually goes for Feint onto Koko. Sort of a weird set. And my opponent has a Z move too, so they're all... I'm dumb. They're actually the normal Z move. So, I mean, if they KO Koko right here, I'm really fine with that, I think. He is -1 special attack, so even though this is absurdly strong, there might be a slight chance that I can survive just because of how bulky my Tapu Koko is. Okay, and it still KOs, so that's completely fine. I mean, his Porygon is still at -1, and he doesn't get adaptability for things like Ice Beam and whatnot, so I actually think I'm in a pretty fine position here. And I'm going to bring in Lapras here. Alright, now this is actually going to be the tricky turn, because I know I want to conserve Chomp. He could just go for a Feint into Garchomp and like an Ice Beam or something, which is what I'm most scared of in this position. He could also go for the Hyper Beam, which I'm actually not that scared of. I mean, okay, so if I switch in Arcanine, what would I need Chomp for later? Chomp is actually pretty important. Plus, I'm sure Arcanine can survive here, so I'm actually just going to switch that in. And then, I guess, go for a... I guess I can just Hydro Pump into Pori. Like, thinking about it, if he goes for Follow Me, then I still KO Smeargle. And if he doesn't protect with Porygon, which I'm assuming he's not going to, then... at the very least, if he, protects Smeargle or something weird here, then I get a Hydro Pump off. And he just goes for Feint anyways, so... Yeah, Feint Hyper Beam is probably what's going to come out this turn. Unless this Hydro Pump KOs, but I doubt it. Yeah. Oh, and he did go for the Ice Beam, so that's actually really good for me. I was actually certain that he would be going for the Hyper Beam there, just because that covered the switch. But that is honestly completely fine with me. Yeah, and I'll just Will-O-Wisp, Smeargle, and Hydro Pump here. I'm spreading him out like that instead of doing one slot, because if he switches in Gigalith, I don't really think it's worth doubling up on it like that. Not to mention that, if he tries to conserve something in this position, I'm pretty certain that he doesn't want to. But if he kept Smeargle in here, then I don't want it to get KO'd, because it just gives him a free switch. And he actually sends in Gigalith, so still a little bit scary to deal with. Okay, and he just goes for Follow Me. So if Hydro Pump connects and KOs here, then Will-O-Wisp is going to connect with the Gigalith. Which will be really, really good if it connects. Because if it does, I actually think I just straight up win the match. Yeah. Okay. So this is really good now. So this, I don't know if anybody has noticed yet. I don't think I've had a chance to show it off in the episodes that I've used this team. But my Garchomp is actually Sandscream. And to someone who sees that and sees that I don't have Sand, they might be wondering, why would you ever use that when, let's say, I don't know, like, why would you ever go and use Sand Veil when you don't have Sand? Well, it's for positions like this right here, where my opponent has a Gigalith in, which is something that often is a humongous threat to my team. So by having Sand Veil, it just gives me a little bit of a buffer in the matchup, because the chance to miss means if they miss something, then, I don't know, I can deal with Gigalith, or at least have an extra turn to deal with stuff. And so, like, okay, the Rock Slide's not going to do too much here, but, like, let's say he Ice Beams a slot and he misses. That could win me the game. Or he just goes for Hyper Beam to Arcanine. And is this the end of Trick Room? I haven't been keeping track, but it's either this turn or next turn. Pretty sure it's this turn. Okay. Okay, so Electric Terrain's gone. We KO'd their Smeargle. Oh, no, we didn't. Interesting. Well, okay, I can just go for a Flare Blitz into Porygon and a... Do I even want to go for a Z move there? No, I'm not going to go for a Z move. He might switch out, which is not optimal for me. Okay, so he just goes for a Protect anyways. I actually really disagree with that play on their side, because, I think they should have just gone for an attack, because they're not really doing anything with Gigalith at this point. Like, if they crit my Arcanine or something, they might have, I don't know, a chance to do, like, extra damage, but I'm going to get Recovery from Citrus, and then, like, depending on what he has in back, I really don't care about Arcanine going down here. Like, I was considering Earthquaking myself, but I thought that he might protect Porygon or switch into Smeargle, which would sort of make my turn not worth it, I guess. But now I'm in a position where I can just go for a Protect. No. Because if he has Wide Guard, I could be in a bad position. So, wait, he's gone for Earthquakes. Or, sorry, he's gone for Rock Slides so far. I mean, I could Protect and Poison Jab. No, I'm gonna go for the Z move. I'm gonna Snarl and go for the Z move. Oh wow, and he actually went for the double Protect. So, and he didn't switch out either. I don't really understand that. Maybe he doesn't have Tapu Koko in the back, which doesn't really make sense because that's a good pick against my team, but I mean, at the very least, I expected them to switch in Smeargle to try to burn the Tech Rage right here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand that, but like they're already in a losing position, so maybe they just thought like I would go for the single target attack or something. I don't know. Unfortunately, Snarl connects, so that's gonna KO Pori. Critical hit. All right, Arcanine. 55 HP. I'm pretty sure if he has Tapu Koko in the back, even if he's like Choice Specs or something, I shouldn't go down to the Dazzling Gleam. Oh my god, and he has Tapu Koko. So this is still scary, scary, scary. Yeah, I mean, I can just Snarl and Poison Jab. I have no reason to switch out because... Oh, and they just forfeit. Okay. I was going to say, they have no reason not to... Or I have no reason to switch in Lapras, just because it would be taking extra damage. And if I could get a Snarl off, maybe Lapras would be able to beat Tapu Koko. Just because, if you don't know the calculations for that, Lapras can actually survive a Life Orb Thunderbolt. As long as it's not like Z-move or something, then I actually survived an attack anyways. But let's say it wasn't Life Orb or something. Maybe after a Snarl I could make it a 3-hit KO, and that would just put me in a good position. It would be something I could just ride off of momentum and finish the win off for the game. And that's going to be the end of the episode, guys. If you enjoyed this, please go and leave me a like. Helps me out a lot. And if you want to keep up with the content as we head towards the future, make sure you check out my social media, and hit subscribe. I'm Modern. Thanks for watching, guys.